Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so I just got through finishing a playlist, and it ain't been but 5 minutes, and now Zach Levine is down with another ankle injury. I swear that boy is made of glass, but paid like he's Giannis. Don't make no damn sense. I, in my right mind, as a Laker fan who follows this game as closely as I do, and who tries to put his shoes in the GM's feet in GM shoes, cannot in my right mind suggest anybody take that contract at all. No team, nowhere. He should be in Chicago for the foreseeable future. There's no reason other than them fleecing themselves completely to get rid of it. Should anybody be willing to take it, bro? Honestly. You're going to have to give me Caruso. You're going to have to give me first round picks. I need Patrick Williams. I need some young player on the back of y'all team that I know is going to turn into something. I don't know who that player is, but I'll take my choice of them. I'm taking Ayo DeSumo. I'm taking everything from the Chicago Bulls to keep from having to pay proper price for Zach Levine's contract, man. There's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry. I know Chicago's looking forward to moving on from Zach Levine, but I'm telling you, if I was a GM in every single team's shoes, I would say no. Unless you gave me too much. It's the only way, man. It's the only way. Y'all gonna have to wait that out, man. Nobody told y'all to pay him all that money, man. Nobody. I remember when it was done, when they were actually talking about doing it over the course of a 3-day period, it was agreed to and signed. And during that 3-day period, I must have made 2 or 3 videos telling the Chicago Bulls not to do this. No one thought he was worth that, fam. No one. Not a single soul in the league but the Chicago Bulls front office actually thought that Zach Levine should have been signing that contract. And now that we fast forward, 2-3 years into it, it's still undesirable. He still got these issues with his injury. He can't stay healthy for 2 weeks just to show that he's worth a damn before going down again, man. It's no way in hell, man. It's no way in hell. I'm sorry, Chicago. It's going to be tough, man. Y'all got to find somebody a lot less willing than I would be, man. That's what it really comes down to. Y'all gotta find somebody a lot less willing than me. I think y'all best bet is to find somebody with a worse contract. Maybe the Brooklyn Nets and Ben Simmons. You see what I'm saying? Or the Golden State Warriors and Chris Paul. Like, those are the contracts that I would trade Zach Levine for without asking for the farm. Because you got to get me out of my situation. In turn, I'm going to put you into another one. Like, that's the best possible suitor for that Zach Levine contract is the Brooklyn Nets and Ben Simmons. We could swap it. Because I know that Zach Levine is a more serviceable player than Ben Simmons and likely to be more healthy than Ben Simmons. That's the only reason. Like, that's the only thing I do. That's it. I wouldn't give you Jordan Poole for him. And right now, Jordan Poole is starting to get it together, but everybody knows Jordan Poole's contract's awful. But, like, if I'm the Washington Wizards, I'm cool, fam. I'd rather hold on to Poole. Because at least I know Poole's a little more healthy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 2-3 years from now, we forget all about these troubles. Poole matures a little bit, plays a little better. But Zach Levine, Zach Levine looks like somebody who's probably going to have to retire in 2 or 3 years. Just based on the fragility of his body. And so for me, it's like, man, I ain't got no reason at all to do that. I'll give you Ben Simmons if I'm the Nets. I give you Ben Simmons, you send me back Zach Levine, I feel good. So like I said, Golden State and CP3. But the problem with the Golden State situation is I legitimately don't know that Mike Dunleavy even wants to get rid of CP3. He may not. I mean, he brought it to him. Everybody knew that thing was terrible. The contract. Everybody knew that thing was terrible. He wanted it. So who's to say he doesn't still want it? He probably don't see the fruit at all in getting rid of that damn thing. So, like, that's what it is. I could look at other contracts that are bad, but they're attached to more reasonable players to hold on to. Like the Jeremy Grant contract. I know that thing is not very good, but it has suitors because he's playing so well and look like he'll probably play well for the next 5 years. Even if he's overpriced, you at least feel like you got a serviceable two-way player. Zach Levine is a one-way guy, going to jack up a bunch of shots and going to be hurt for half the season every season. And he's paid 3 times probably what he's actually supposed to be getting in this market. Nah, fam. Not at all. There's nothing better than him or equivalent to him that I would be willing to give you? Nothing. You're going to have to give me stuff. That's what it really comes down to. That is a complete and utter salary dump. And it's a salary dump that I could argue is going to put me in a hole if I grab it. So I better get back a lot. I'm talking like a lot, man. A real lot. So that's what I want to say to everybody. That's what's on my mind. He's only going to be out for a week or two. It's a rolled ankle. It's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but it is when you're trying to assess whether or not you want this player and you start looking at the extensive injury history and the extensive losing and the price tag. It's like, fam, nah, not at all. You know what would have helped him, man? If he would have played better in winning situations. Like the play-in tournament game that just passed. And he went for like 8 points and jacked up like 16, 17 shots. If he would have played well in that game, I think I could have made a better argument that, yo, at least if I can get him in here and get him healthy, he going to play well in big situations when it matters. But that's not his history. That's not his resume. If his team ain't missing the playoffs, he's likely playing poorly within them. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't have any desire at all to bring in Zach Levine's contract. You know, if you want to restructure that thing and knock off another $15, $20 million a year from that thing, and we talking. Because I know what type of player he can be, and if I add him to my situation where I already got reliable playoff performers, and I'm not relying upon him to do a damn thing, then I feel good about bringing him in. But if I have to actually rely upon him, or if he's going to be taking so much from my cap that I can't bring in better players than average, scrubs, nah, man, he's not going to play well enough to make up for their whackness. He ain't going to be on the floor enough to make up for their whackness. As a result, I'm going to be relying upon them with him on my books. Nah, why would I want, nah, I'm not. Nah. There's no team that should even desire that, man. No team. Only the Brooklyn Nets and that Ben Simmons contract. That's the only thing. It's the only thing. And if you go get that contract, you're in the same boat. In fact, a worse one. Because you already got Lonzo Ball. But you're going to bring back Lonzo Ball and Ben Simmons. Even if they both come back healthy, now they fit horribly together. So it's like, man, I think the Chicago Bulls' best bet is to keep it. Keep Zach Levine. Trade something else. trade DeMar DeRozan and bring you something that makes Zach Levine and team make more sense. Build around Zach Levine like you're supposed to. When you sign a guy to a contract that is that expensive, whatever the hell you're doing should be surrounding him. It should make him his best. That is the only path you got. You could try to unload it, but your better bet is to bring him stuff that makes him look his best. So whoever is a Zach Levine expert in his game needs to start trying to devise ways of grabbing everything around the league that'll make him look his best. That's it. That's the only thing you need to be doing. If it means moving Vucevic, of course you do that. If it means moving DeMar DeRozan, of course you do that. Like, those are the options right there, so that you can make Zach Levine his best and finish the contract like you signed it. But Chicago wasn't thinking like that. They thinking, you know what, we just going to sign him to this bull crap and then toss that poison pill to somebody else. The mistake of a stupid person is thinking everybody else is stupid. Not having any self-awareness that they're the one that's stupid. Nobody's letting you do that. I told y'all that when y'all signed it. I told everybody who followed me that day that Chicago was going to have a hard time doing what it is that they were planning to do, which was having him sign some massive contract and then dumping it off on a big market like the Lakers. That was the plan. He wanted to be a Laker, but he also wanted his bread. Chicago's like, okay, we'll just give it to the Lakers. They'll take it. No, we ain't. No, we not. Why? Because we ain't stupid. And only a stupid person's going to take that. Just like only a stupid person's going to sign it. And so, or rather sign him to that. He was smart for signing it. He's rich, but you know what I'm saying? It's not about his point of view. His point of view is straight. He's a basketball player ready to play for a team with a contract that he signed in good faith. It's the team that gave him that garbage that should be considered stupid. And so that's where I come with that. That's exactly where I come with that. And maybe everything would be great if Lonzo Ball was at his best because he's averaging 10 assists and locking down the best guard. And now, they can all play together. And they looked really good when that thing was when that whole group was healthy. But it was a terrible bet. It was a terrible bet because both of them dudes couldn't stay healthy. And you paid them all that money. You gave Lonzo his $100 million, which is great. I'm happy for Lonzo. But now, look at you. Now look at you, Chicago. Now look at you. And this is why I hope that those who follow me take the things that I say seriously. Because when I get on the Brooklyn Nets for all of the mistakes that they've made, or I look at certain teams and I say that they've made mistakes, I be right some of the time. Now, when it comes to the case of the Minnesota Timberwolves, I was not right because they found a way to make all of this make sense. And Anthony Edwards is doing stuff like we saw last night, where he just torched Tillman in probably the best highlight of the season thus far. Threw the ball off the glass, launched into the air, dunked it. I mean, it was a cooking of the highest order. So because of his greatness, you can mortgage your entire future because he go be your entire future so long as you keep the right stuff around him, for which it looks like they put around him. And McDaniels is fantastic, and you put him next to Gobert, so the fleecing of Gobert makes everything okay. Because you got the Anthony Edwards piece. You got Conley playing at a high level. You got, it's a lot of stuff that fell into place for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But even now with the Minnesota Timberwolves, they are one bad injury away from being absolutely in the dumps for the next 7 years. If Anthony Edwards goes down with a horrible injury, now they got a bunch of pieces they can't trade to get better. They can't reset or nothing. If he decides he wants to get the heck out of there, he gets into a fight with somebody and now doesn't want to play for Minnesota no more, they're in the dumps for a long time. And this is why you don't do that. Even when it looks good, it's always one hair fracture away from being terrible. You want your flexibility, and you certainly don't want to ask people to sign contracts that are 3 times more than what they're worth, man. You don't do it. You just don't do it. This is exactly what we were talking about yesterday in Hollywood. You do not do this. So that's what I got to say, man. Chicago Bulls, I have no desire as a Laker fan to take that contract. None. And I hear a couple of my Laker buddies saying, yeah, let's bring on Zach. No. Under no circumstance you bring that contract to your books attached to that player. Absolutely not. That is a no-go. And I think everybody's aware of that. Most of those who are savvy enough to understand and not the entire game ain't just about putting the right basketball fit on the floor, understands when you bring yourself a poison pill that's going to have your team bad for the next 4 or 5 or more years. You don't do that. Not to make a team fit. No. Not just to get yourself a chance at a championship. No. Because what you end up doing is taking yourself out of any opportunity to build other championship teams in the near future. That's what you end up doing when you do that. Can't be so short-sighted to say this player fits. Let's bring him on. Nah, not if that contract is going to have us sucking for 4 years. No, we don't need to fit that bad. We don't need to fit that bad. And so that's where I'm at with the Zach Levine contract. Great fit, bad contract. Ain't no way. No way in hell. And this latest rolled ankle is just a nail in that coffin even further. Absolutely not. So that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDO44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.